If someone asked you about nuclear energy in the future, you would think about something like this, right? What if I told you that nuclear energy is one of the cleanest energies for the environment? You wouldn't believe me, would you? Despite the controversy, nuclear energy is the only source capable of supplying large amounts of electricity without emitting greenhouse gases. The image of its towers cooling by emitting what looks like smoke, although it's nothing more than water steam. But what is nuclear energy? It's the energy released as a result of the reactions produced in the nucleus of an atom, formed by neutrons and protons. These reactions can be either nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. In nuclear fusion, the energy is released when the nucleus of the atom combines. In nuclear fission, the nucleus separates and thus releasing energy. They produce a large amount of heat energy and radiation, which is then used to produce steam electricity among other things. Nuclear technological advances can be applied in many sectors. In medicine, it's used to detect and destroy tumors, as well as to treat cancer. According to a 2013 NASA study, nuclear energy has prevented around 1.8 million deaths. In art and archaeology, it's used both for dating and to eliminate insects or fungi. In mining, it's used to determine the presence of oil or minerals. In agriculture, it's used to create mutations in plants and increase food preservation. And in space and cosmology, to determine the age of the universe, and also as a rocket propellant. A nuclear power plant is a facility in which electricity is generated from heat energy produced by fission reactions in a nuclear reactor and where the nuclear fuel is housed. The process can be simplified into 5 phases. The fission of uranium takes place in a nuclear reactor, releasing a large amount of energy that heats the water until it evaporates. This steam is transported to the turbine generator unit. Once there, the turbine blades rotate by the action of the steam and move the generator, which transforms the mechanical energy of the turbine's rotation into electricity, ready for industrial use. When the steam has passed through the turbine, it is sent to a condenser where it cools and becomes liquid. Afterwards, the liquid is transported to get steam again, thus closing the water circuit. Recycling, the management of nuclear waste, is one of the hardest parts of using nuclear energy, since it's dangerous and difficult to dispose of. However, with the development of the first nuclear plants, solutions for toxic materials had already been implemented for waste treatment. Radioactive waste is the residues that are contaminated by radioisotopes, and there are 2 types. Low and medium waste activity, which is mixed with concrete and placed in drums that are stored at the nuclear plant itself, and high-level waste, that is stored temporarily in the central in concrete pools with water. Later, it will be reprocessed to use it as fuel, nuclear weapons, and to be encapsulated. Nuclear safety is used to minimize the radiological risk of the facilities to achieve adequate protections for workers, the public, and the environment. Some security measures carried out are the analysis to find an ideal location, considering the characteristics of the area and possible adverse effects, in a final study in which it's detailed that the radioactive products generated are protected by 4 consecutive barriers. The building systems components related to the reactor and radioactivity containment are resistant to the maximum natural events that can occur. There are safety systems like duplicated and independent components for safety-critical systems, electricity and water supply lines to prevent accidents or failures. The control panel is protected against possible sabotage and has fire protection systems. The manufacture, installation, and assembly of components are carried out according to a very strict quality programs. The chances of an accident occurring are really low, since the mass that is used is very small. Finally, the radioactive emissions produced in a nuclear power plant do not exceed those produced naturally. For this and all that it has to offer to us, trust nuclear energy.